Taijuan Walker all set to go in his first pitch of the ball game tonight. A strike there to George Springer. Springer, Correa, and Tucker all due up for the Astros. Happy to have you with us once again here tonight. It's game 2, the middle game of this 3-game series. Mariners and the Astros. And it's nice to have Edgar Martinez, Mariners Hall of Famer, as General Manager Jack Zrinzik announced earlier today. The Mariners' new hitting coach as George Springer. Make that 1-2 on Springer. Springer began the ball game last night with a home run, a 12-game hitting streak. And there is strike 3. 97 from the right arm of Taijuan Walker. And Mike, having a look at the Astros lineup penciled in by A.J. Hinch.
And following Springer, it will be Correa, off to a fast start in his career. .319 batting average. Springer with a home run in last night's ball game. Then you have Tucker, Gaddis, and Rasmus in the middle of the lineup. Carter will hit 6. Balbuena, 16 home runs on the year. He bats 7th. Gonzalez and Castro rounding out the 9 for Houston this evening.
1 up, 1 down for Carlos Correa, the youngest player in the big leagues at 20 years old. Now this is a great look into the future. You've got Taijuan Walker 22, Correa 20, just recently called up. And if things stay as it looks like they will for some years to come, these two will be seeing a lot of each other down the road.
You would think so. And again, Correa off to a fast start, hitting .319 with 3 home runs so far as he's been called up. Only 11 games for him. And a good sign from Taijuan. He has a good fastball tonight, as you mentioned, topping out at 97. He's consistently been 95, 96 so far here in the first. Some of his outings, it's taken him an inning or two to get his velocity up, but he has a good fastball right away tonight.
And we saw that in his last start in San Francisco. It was a really chilly night in the Bay Area. And that first inning, he was more 92, 93, touching 94. But it did not take Taijuan long to find mid to upper 90s against the Giants. 7 innings for the win.
You mentioned the 7 innings, just 1 earned run against the Giants. And for Taijuan this year, looking for his 5th win. ERA down to a 5. And again, he got off to a tough start this year. 72 innings, he has 66 strikeouts. Colton's hitting .273 against him. He's been much better lately.
Slicing foul and out of play.
In fact, in his last 4 games, he's 3-1 with a 1.55 ERA. And he's been his fastball command. He's had an excellent changeup. See the last fastball, 97 miles an hour at the top of the strike zone.
And really in his last start against the Giants, it was almost all fastballs, changeups, the other pitch, and that was the majority of the offerings that he came home with as Correa down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Taijuan Walker to open things up.
And we'll take a look at the American Family Insurance defensive setup for the Mariners this evening. Smith in left field, Jackson in center, Cruz out in right. Kyle Seager is at third base, Miller and Cano playing up the middle, Logan Morrison at first, and Mike Zunino will do the catching.
Couple of strikeouts to open things up for Walker, and here comes Preston Tucker. Starts him off with a strike. Well, the command has been so noticeable for Taijuan Walker. You mentioned his last 4 starts. 3 walks, 27 punch-outs in that string. And you think about it, the start before the recent 4, so 5 starts ago, he walked 4 in that one start, 3 walks over his last 4 total.
Well, I think we're starting to see some growth from him, and we already mentioned tonight he has a really good fastball. But I thought against the Giants, and you mentioned it, Aaron, at the beginning of that game, probably not his best fastball, but he continued to use it, and he continued to pitch inside. And in today's game, everybody can look up and see what the miles per hour are in the stadium, including the starting pitcher. And I thought that was a big hurdle for him to continue to use his fastball, even though he didn't have his best one, against a pretty good team in the Giants.
And that idea of pitching inside and sticking with your strength, in this case your fastball, it can be tough, especially for young pitchers, to stick with that. This idea of wanting to use all your pitches.
Well, wanting to use all of your pitches, and again, if you don't have your good fastball, you don't always have the confidence to pitch inside. But I think that is something that Rick Waits has done an excellent job on. I've really enjoyed my conversations with Rick as you take a look at his last 3 outings. 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 3 earned runs against the Yankees over 8 innings. But he's really stayed after him to stay inside.
Big ground ball right back to the mound. Lomo scoops it up on the other end, and that'll be all she wrote for the Astros. Inside Edgar's Cantina, the Mariners going to the bottom of the first inning. No score. something right. And of course, Edgar has an award named after him as well, and even a cantina. So 3 for 3 for Edgar Martinez, the Mariners' new hitting coach, as announced today. And the Mariners' starting lineup tonight, Mike.
For manager Lloyd McClendon, leading off, it will be Austin Jackson. Seth Smith moves up to hit second. Robinson Cano with 3 hits in last night's ball game, hitting third. Cruz, Seager, and Trumbo with 3 RBIs. The DH tonight batting 6. Morrison, Zunino, and Miller round out the 9 for the Mariners. For Keuchel, off to a great start this year. 8-2 record, ERA just over 2. 76 strikeouts. So for Keuchel, he's really a ground ball pitcher. He's not overpowering. His fastball will be in the upper 80s, touch 90 from time to time. But really going to try to keep the ball on the ground.
This one through the air. Springer right there for round number 1.
And a look at the defense for Houston tonight. Tucker in left field. Rasmus, the center fielder. Springer out and right. Valbuena at third. Correa and Gonzalez playing up the middle. Chris Carter, the first baseman, and Jason Castro had last night off. He is back behind the plate this evening.
1 up, 1 down for Seth Smith. We saw Smith batting 7th in last night's game. Tonight batting 2nd. Now, Mike mentioned Keuchel being a ground ball pitcher. He has been one of the very best in that category. In fact, if you go back to really when Keuchel was a full-time starter for the first time back in 2013, no pitcher has a higher ground ball rate than the man on the mound right there, Dallas Keuchel.
We talked about his fastball being in the upper 80s, touch 90 from time to time. Also use a changeup, mix in a slider, and an occasional cutter from him.
The 1-1 to Smith. Tied him up a little bit.
Opponent's hitting just 193 off of Keuchel this year. And he's been really tough on left-handers, just a 127 batting average.
Yeah, if you hit from the left side, it's not an easy day. Left-handed hitters in OPS beneath 320. So he's turning a lot of them into pitchers, if that, as Smith goes halfway around, and that'll complete the strikeout. 2 outs.
And this looks like the slider down and away from Seth. And that's exactly what it is. Hitters have not had much success against his slider, hitting just .077 off of Keuchel's slider this year.
2 quick outs now facing Cano. Nice night for Robbie in game 1 of this series last night. Scored twice, a double, 2 singles, 3-hit night overall. Also reached on an error. Keuchel entering tonight with the 6th best earned run average of the big leagues, the 2nd in the American League, trailing only Sonny Gray. Ground ball to Gonzalez and a low scoop. Out number 3. Side sat down in order on both sides, and a quick first inning. We go to the 2nd, scoreless. Likely heard the news. You were looking at the Mariners' new hitting coach, as announced earlier today by General Manager Jack Sorensic. Edgar Martinez, Mariners Hall of Famer. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Mike Flowers. And Flo, when we found out about the news around lunchtime today, what was your initial reaction?
It was mixed a little bit. One, a surprise, I think, more than anything. The other thing is I was disappointed for Howard Johnson.
Sure.
With him being here over the last year and a half. I know how hard Howard has worked.
This is Gaddis deep to right field and just over the fence. First pitch, Gaddis takes it deep. That's his 13th on the year. The Astros grab an early lead.
This is something you don't see very often here at Safeco Field. Right-handers hitting home runs to the opposite field. But Gaddis, you can tell, he's a strong man. And Taijuan Walker staying with the fastball. Take a look at our Alaska Supermo. He lets the ball get a little bit deeper in the zone and gets just enough of it. Barely gets out. But that will be a home run for Gaddis. For Gaddis, his 13th home run on the year.
That brings in Colby Rasmus.
But I think, Aaron, when it comes down to it for Howard, and this is something that Lloyd has talked about too, when the players aren't performing, the coaches typically get fired, and that's what happened to Howard Johnson. I wish him the best. I'm sure he will not be out of work for very long. Somebody will grab him. But I think on the flip side of it, with Edgar, this is a guy, I thought about it a lot, an 18-year playing career, and I can tell you over that 18-year career, he's helped a lot of teammates as far as being a hitting coach goes. So I think that the Mariners are in great hands with Edgar as the hitting coach. Sometimes it helps just have a different voice, a different view on things, and maybe Edgar can provide that, because look, these guys offensively have struggled, and they need to get that going, and hopefully Edgar will be the answer to it. But I think on a technical side of things, he can certainly help you. I think on a mental side, that is a real strong suit of his, and I think if you need a legitimate plan going into the game, he's somebody that can develop that. So there's a lot of positives, obviously, to having Edgar here as the hitting coach.
And many probably remember that in pretty recent time, Edgar has been working with minor leaguers in the Mariners farm system, traveling to different affiliates. So he has served in a minor league coaching role as Rasmus down on strikes. But this will be something obviously very new to him. And one of the questions that was raised today for Edgar, and you can tell this is something that he's thought about, is that even tonight, you look up and down the Mariners lineup, there are some younger hitters. There are obviously some more advanced veteran hitters like Cruz, like Cano. Seager's approaching that territory as well. And that fine line between you've arrived, you've parachuted in near the All-Star break, and now you're working with younger players that are maybe slightly more impressionable, and then more veteran players that are probably a little more set in their ways, and that's probably a good thing. It's resulted in a lot of All-Star appearances for a number of them. And how you balance that? That can't be easy.
No, it won't be. But again, I think with Edgar's resume as a player, he's well respected right from the start. That helps get you over a lot of hurdles with guys as far as them trusting you. One of the things that I had a conversation with Edgar a few days ago, and we talked about a variety of things, but one of the things I asked him about, because let's not, with Edgar, he had I think almost 2,700 at bats in the minor leagues before he was able to get to the big leagues. And I want to get another strikeout right here, but I think that today's game has changed. Guys get to the big leagues a lot faster. You look at the Mariners and some of the guys that they've recently had here. You look at this Houston club, the guys, and you have to be able to deal with that at the major league level, I think, and that is something that Edgar certainly is aware of. And I think that he'll be a real benefit to the younger guys. And for the veteran guys, they're more, I think, going to need little tweaks with the mechanics of their swings. And Edgar's eye, he can pick those things up. And again, I think the way that he's able to communicate and keep things fairly simple, I think will help these guys a lot. So, again, they've had their struggles this year, and they felt they needed to make a change, and that's what they've done. So
now this is crushed, and Valbuena tees off with 2 outs. 17th home run of the season for Valbuena. That's a new career high. And it's been a multi-home run inning for the Astros. They lead it 2-0.
Well, the Astros lead the American League in home runs. And for Valbuena, as Aaron mentioned, it's 17 home runs for him. It's been a strange year for him. 17 home runs, you get excited about that. Hitting just 183 coming into the game. But again, he'll get a fastball up out over the plate. Times it perfectly. Good look at our Alaska Supermo right above the belt.
Two outs, nobody on. 2-0 Astros for Marwin Gonzalez. It was interesting hearing Edgar talk today when he addressed the media, and he said that this is something, coaching at a full-time level in the big leagues, is something that he's been thinking about for the last 3 years. This is something that he said he missed the game. He wanted to get back involved with the game, but it really was a matter of timing from a personal standpoint for Edgar. And as he said, now his wife is working full-time, his kids are older, he feels like he can be away from the house more often. Thus is the big league lifestyle, and so the timing seemed to work on both sides very well.
I think that it was great for him too to get an opportunity, and he made a trip to all of the minor league teams that the Mariners have and worked with the hitters this year. Gives you an opportunity to, I think, to assess things and make that decision, and he really enjoyed doing it. So I think that's a big hurdle for him too. Make this decision a little bit easier, the fact that he has done that this year through the minor league system.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Gonzalez homered last night of the 8th. He was the final blow on what was a brilliant night for Roenis Elias. Last batter that Elias faced, and he gets caught looking at 96. So Taijuan Walker strikes out the side, but the Astros come up with a couple of solo homers, and through 1.5, the Astros have the lead. Great gift for Dad. Enjoy 30% off select caps and apparel, as well as 20% off autographed memorabilia. Swing by one of the 5 Mariners team stores to find the perfect gift for Father's Day. Hope we can see you right out here at the ballpark in downtown Seattle tomorrow for Father's Day. Should be another beautiful afternoon at the ballpark as Keuchel is up on the mound facing Nelson Cruz.
As you look at the Mariners lineup, Nelson Cruz and Mark Trumbo have had a lot of success against Keuchel. Cruz 5 for 10 with a home run against him. Also with a good night last night, 2 for 2 with an RBI.
2-1. It's funny when you think about the phrase an ace. Does a team have an ace? Not every team does. Obviously the Mariners do, and Felix. Keuchel is pitching like an ace. Although you look at his numbers and just right there, 88, 89, he doesn't have stuff that is going to strike out 10 or 12 every single night. But all of a sudden you look up and it's been a pretty comfortable 0 for 3 for most guys. As Cruz draws a leadoff walk. But Keuchel is a tough customer. The Mariners get their first base runner. Here comes Kyle Seager. Seager representing the tying run. A couple of solo shots for the Astros in the second. Ganis and Valbuena.
And the Astros will put the shift on with Kyle hitting. Balbuena, the third baseman, playing even with the bag, so he's playing up close, taking the bunt away from Kyle. And although Kyle will not try to bunt for a base hit very often, all the scouts that we see at the ballpark know that he will try it from time to time. So Balbuena playing close.
Now, we are used to seeing the shift at times against Kyle Seager, but no pitcher was shifted behind more often last season than Dallas Keuchel. A.J. Hinch in his first season as the Astros manager. So far, so good. The opposite way and through. Seager is single. Cruz checks it at second. And the Mariners will bring the tying, making the go-ahead run up to the plate.
Well, take a look at it. Kyle gets a fastball, probably one of the better fastballs he's going to see, 91 miles an hour. Great look at the Alaska Supermo and the inside out swing by Kyle, taking advantage of the shift.
RBI chance here for Trumbo, who drove in 3 runs last night. 2 on ground ball outs and an RBI single in the third as well.
And for Trumbo, 4 for 7 against Keuchel. All 4 hits for extra bases, a double, a home run, and 2 triples. 2 triples.
But when we were talking about this earlier today, it begs the question, how many triples does Mark Trumbo have in his career? And 2 of his 10 lifetime triples have come off of Dallas Keuchel. In fact, looking through Trumbo's game log from this year, his first hit this season was a triple off of Madison Bumgarner when he played against the Giants, of course, beginning of the season with the Diamondbacks. So Trumbo does have a few triples this year, so who knows what might be coming up here. 0-2. And time called.
It's always a tough situation against a pitcher like Keuchel because you have something going here. And we talked about all the ground balls that he's able to get. So he's always a double play away from getting out of trouble.
Now, Keuchel last year led the big leagues in ground ball double plays. However, this year that number is way down for Keuchel for whatever reason. Only 1 ground ball double play turned behind him in his last 4 starts.
Talked about it. Probably a lack of base runners.
Chopper, it's a fair ball, and Cruz out at third. That just stayed fair. Cruz retired. Trumbo in at first base. A fielder's choice. Seager into second.
Smart play by Balbuena. Sees a chopper, starts to charge it, and then realizes the only play he's really going to have is that one right there. Takes him right to the base.
One out, first and second for Logan Morrison. Tying run at first. That's Trumbo. Lomo the go-ahead run. The 1-0. Just gets a piece. Edgar looking on. Early chance here against Keuchel. Time called. This was something Lloyd was talking about today, basically referring to the fact that in the early stages with Edgar as now the new hitting coach. He wants to give Edgar some time just to kind of figure things out on his own, kind of get a lay of the land. So many teams have 2 hitting coaches these days. 1 and 2.
I think the other part about it too is Edgar, although he can watch video and he's been at the ballpark a number of times this year. He's seen the guys. You have to get to know them and their personalities and eventually learn how to communicate with them. That takes time, Aaron. You're not going to get all of that overnight.
Build relationships.
I watched him today during batting practice. When the guys would come out of the cage, a number of them he would have short conversations with.
Right side, Carter is there, down to second. That'll take care of Trumbo. Seager in at third. So back-to-back fielder's choices, Trumbo and now Lomo. Correa trying to avoid Trumbo and
neighborhood play.
Yeah. Play like that not reviewable. So Trumbo cut down. 2 outs, first and third for Zunino. Lloyd had the great line saying that aside from being a major league manager, a hitting coach is the hardest job of the game because almost no matter what, somebody's going to be upset. A team could go out, they could knock around 13 hits, but somebody's going to go 0 for 4.
He's absolutely right. And Lloyd will certainly know that, being a hitting coach for 15 years. See what Mike has done against Keuchel. 3 for 10.
2 on, 2 out. Castro getting the start tonight behind home, had last night off. We saw Hank Conger as a starting catcher last night for the Astros. Now the Mariners trying to cash in on Keuchel. Call a strike, 2-2.
Borderline pitch. I think Mike thought that pitch was up. You can see it right at the top of the EQC tracer.
Keuchel's 2-2. And a full count. Now Cruz began this inning with a walk. Seager with the shift against him went the opposite way with the ground ball single. Trumbo and Morrison a fielder's choice apiece. As Zunino takes ball 4, the bases are full. That's the second walk this inning from Keuchel. Pitches this inning for Keuchel, over 20 after a 1-2-3 bottom of the first, and now it's up to Brad Miller.
Well, he only threw 8 pitches in the first inning, so his pitch count overall is still in good shape, but he's having to work hard here in the second.
So the Mariners have the tying run at second. That's Lomo. Go ahead at first, Zunino. The opposite way, slicing. It's a foul ball.
Fortunately, that pitch ended up jamming Brad just enough, because where they're playing their defense in the outfield, Tucker, the left fielder, shading towards the line, and it's really shallow. Rasmussen left center field. So they're expecting him to hit the ball in the air the other way.
The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Bases full, 2 outs. Miller hard hit and foul. Yes. Seager has to take cover. We laugh, but we wouldn't be.
Now that he's okay, we do.
You know, from that camera angle, Mike, it doesn't look quite as close, but when you're standing out there at third base, that probably looked like it was about a quarter inch away.
Hey, he thinks that that went right over his head right now.
Duck for cover. It was close. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a full count. Now the Mariners last night got their first run on a bases loaded walk with Cruz at the plate. Might that happen again tonight? Runners all around, 2 outs. Keuchel's payoff pitch. It's high, and it happens in the second consecutive game against the Astros. Bases loaded walk. Miller the RBI. Seager scores from third. And the Mariners within a run.
Already the 3rd walk here in the 2nd inning for Keuchel.
That already ties a season high. 3 walks and a start for Keuchel. Back to the top of Jackson. Logan Morrison at third base, now the tying run.
Look at 3 walks. Keuchel's splits are not good. 37 pitches, 17 strikes, and 20 balls.
2-0. Castro wants to have a word, as does Prince Rob, the pitching coach. This is the first time that the Mariners are facing Keuchel this year. Mariners have seen him a lot, however, over the course of his big league career. 8th appearance, 7th start tonight. And this is a pitcher that, it's not just the Mariners. He's been tough on everybody, but the Mariners overall have hit just 199 against Keuchel over the course of his career, and they've got him pinned in a corner in the bottom of the 2nd. Two outs, bases full. Tying run 90 feet from home. And it's 3-0. Seth Smith hoping he gets a chance.
And Austin will be taking this pitch all the way.
Three and 1.
Doesn't change things. He should get a good fastball to hit right here.
And we are tied. Who would have guessed it would happen like this? The 4th walk tonight from Dallas Keuchel. Three straight walks. Zunino, Miller, and now Jackson. And we're tied at 2.
The 2nd inning and already a season high in walks for Keuchel. 4 walks in the inning.
In steps Seth Smith. First pitch strike. The 0-1. And it's 0-2 in Smith. You talk about Two teams scoring 2 runs in as polar opposite fashions imaginable. Gaddis an opposite field homer. Valbuena just a moonshot to right field. The Mariners a couple of bases loaded walks. It's a run either way. Into the shift. Correa over the top to first base. And that'll be it. But the Mariners grab 2 runs on a 4-walk inning from Dallas Keuchel. And we're right back where we started through 2. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Delta Dental of Washington. You're in for lots of reasons with Delta Dental. By Greaves playing July 9th to August 2nd. Tickets at fifthavenue.org. And by Audi, truth in engineering. Well, shot earlier today. Many Edgar Martinez fans on any night, but especially here tonight. Taking over as Mariners hitting coach as Jason Castro takes a big swing and a miss at the first pitch he sees tonight from Taijuan Walker. Well, so far, Mike, Edgar has taught Mariners hitters to be very patient at the plate.
Well, he was a patient hitter. Makes sense.
0-2. Who would have seen a 4-walk second inning coming from Dallas Keuchel? First time, by the way, he's walked 4 since June of last year against the Rays.
Andy threw 36 pitches in the second.
Wow. That's noteworthy.
And that's good news for the Mariners. The quicker you can get him out of the game, the better.
The 1-2 to Castro. Cuts right through it. Walker's 4th strikeout. Well, treat your dad to a day at the ballpark this Father's Day. Be on hand at Safeco Field tomorrow afternoon when the Mariners host the Astros at 1:10. The first 10,000 dads take home this Mike Zunino barbecue apron courtesy of EQC. For tickets, as always, just go to mariners.com. Back to the top of the order, Springer, a healthy hack. Now, with the way that Taijuan's fastball has sparkled in his last 4 starts, and with the strikeout tendencies of the Astros, you wonder what kind of day Taijuan could be in line for. We saw Elias last night, 10 punch-outs, no walks.
His career high in strikeouts is 8. And you're right. The Astros, they strike out a lot more than anybody in the American League. And for Taijuan, already 6. He may tie his career high by the end of the 3rd.
This is dropping, and it drops in. Springer 1 for 2.
.97 miles an hour on the inside corner, inside out swing. It ends up jamming and probably breaks his bat. And that will be a base hit for Springer, and Taiwan will have to work hard to keep him close to first. The Astros like to run. They're the #1 team in stolen bases.
1 out, 1 out for Correa, all tied at 2. Going back to Elias last night, that was the first time a Mariners pitcher had struck out 10 without walking a batter since Hisashi Iwakuma did it last August against the Phillies. And we saw what makes Elias so great last night. First pitch of the game, Springer goes yard, he crushes it, and it did not faze Roenis Elias one bit. He settled right down.
I thought the other thing that was impressive about him is being able to change his game plan the way that he did.
The opposite way. Cruz coming in for round number 2.
The Astros were very aggressive with him, as they are tonight with Taiwan. Taiwan obviously a better fastball, so he's going to continue to throw it. But for Elias, all of a sudden we saw his breaking ball and his changeup. Used his curveball more than we've seen lately, and continue to throw first pitch strikes with all of his pitches and not just the fastball. Pretty good.
Yeah. Two out, Springer at first base after the single. It brings in Preston Tucker, hitting third tonight for the Astros. Astros have 5 left-handed hitters, if you include Gonzalez, a switch hitter, in the lineup tonight to face the right-handed Walker. Fastball strike, 1-1. Now, the Astros are a team that Taiwan has seen a lot. This is his 7th start against Houston. More than any other opponent. Of course, he made his big league debut in Houston at Minute Maid Park. Right there to Cano. Gobbles it up for out number 3. Springer left stranded after the single to right field, and through 2.5 innings, we are all tied at 2. To the bottom of the 3rd, a gorgeous night here at Safeco Field. Mariners and the Astros all tied up at 2 apiece, and we'd love to welcome Niemont Communications subscribers from Glasgow, Montana. Thanks for rooting on the Mariners. All of us at Root Sports and the Mariners certainly appreciate your support. Located up in northeastern Montana along the High Line. Mike, would you know the Glasgow High School, the Scotties, 12 state titles in wrestling. The girls cross country team, 16 state titles. It's pretty impressive stuff.
Dominance.
Don't mess with the Scotties.
That's right.
They'll get you. Ball one to Cano. He'll be followed by Cruz and then Seager. Keuchel with 4 walks in a 36-pitch second inning. That's how this ball game has become tied. Off the hands, a ground ball, long way to go, Gonzalez, and it's out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for Cruz. I'll stick around after the game for Mariners post game presented by Delta Airlines. It is a beautiful night here in downtown Seattle. The Mariners are at home. We are inside Safeco Field. A win tonight would mean a series win, the first of its kind against the Astros this year. Doesn't get much better than this. Glad you could join us. Keuchel's pitch coming to Cruz for ball 1. Hammer to left. Tucker can't do much about it. There it goes. Mariners take the lead on the 19th home run this season by Nelson Cruz.
He is something when he squares it up. I'm going to say this is about a 3-iron. Take a look at this fastball down, and he just golfs it. Line drive. He knew as soon as he hit it, it had enough on it. Line drive right into the pen. He was about due, wasn't he? Been a little while.
It's been a while. First home run since he went splash in Tampa Bay on May 27th.
We have the shift on again. Kyle beat the shift his first time up. Hitting the ball the other way for a base hit. There you can see the defensive alignment for the Astros. Left side of the infield is wide open for him. It's Valbuena.
And Seager calls time. That home run off of Keuchel is really very notable. It's only the second home run a Mariners hitter has ever gotten off of Dallas Keuchel. One and two. The only other Mariners hitter to take Keuchel deep, Raul Ibanez, back in 2013. Keuchel did not give up a home run to a Mariners hitter all of last season. And he gets Seager chasing across the plate for out number 2. We'll take another look at home run number 19 this season for Cruz. Two outs, bases empty for Trumbo. He's homered off of Keuchel before.
Seeing that shot of Edgar clapping as Cruz runs around the bases. Cruz is one guy he doesn't have to worry about right now.
Edgar said today that this is the most talent that he has seen the Mariners have offensively in years. So the timing seems right. And of course that all makes sense. 0-2.
That's a ball. That's a ball.
You can see Trumbo not pleased with that call. Two outs, nobody on. This game has seen 3 solo homers early on.
Well, it's interesting you're saying that about Gar, because it's just a matter of getting the veteran guys that have a track record, getting them up to speed on that, and then moving the younger guys forward. teaching them how to be major league hitters on a consistent basis. So I think really a lot of it, him making that comment, revolves around the veteran guys that they have on this team, Trumbo being one of them.
Yeah, there's no doubt. 2-2. Now Felix having a fun time in the dugout. That's nothing new. And the 2-2 on the way to Trumbo. Rattles it foul. Now, based on what we've seen from Felix at times in the dugout, Mike, I'm surprised he didn't lobby to take some hacks as hitting coach, because we know that he can suit up with the best of them. The elbow protector, the gloves, the helmet.
He typically has all the gear. He's ready to go. Still early in the game for him, though.
Give it time.
Give it some time.
Again, the 2-2. And a full count.
Next pitch will be 60 for Keuchel as he works here in the third.
Get some chasing. Out number 3. Trumbo down on strikes. Third strikeout for Keuchel. But Nelson Cruz doing Nelson Cruz things. Number 19 on the season, now trailing only Albert Pujols in the American League. And the Mariners have taken the lead through 3. Yeah, that's apparently the thing for Scherzer. Ange, thank you. 1 ball to 1 strike to Gaddis, and oh boy, how close Scherzer was to complete baseball immortality. Gaddis to Miller, and there is out number 1. It was interesting talking to Felix today, really just moments after seeing the highlight of Scherzer missing out on the perfect game, and asking Felix, what do you remember thinking back in 2012 against Tampa Bay with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th inning facing Sean Rodriguez? And Felix paused and he said, throw another changeup. Strike 1 to Rasmus, and he said, if that didn't work, I'd throw another changeup, and I'd throw another changeup, and I just keep throwing changeups.
He was going to go with his best pitch. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
0-1 to Rasmus. 0-2. course, we will see Felix on Monday in Game 1 against the Royals as we take a look at our CenturyLink What's Next. Defending American League champions coming to town. Kings Court will be in session as it always is. It's pretty incredible when you take a look at the list of recent no-hitters. The last no-hitter thrown in the American League was authored by Felix, the perfect game. Every no-hitter since has been by a National League pitcher. As Rasmus gets tied up with 95 on the hands. And it's out number 2. Well, kids, here's your chance to get a baseball cap designed just for you. It's Mariners Kids Cap Day, courtesy of Aquafina. Tomorrow at 1:10, when the Mariners host the Astros, all kids receive a unique Mariners cap. Not available in stores. For tickets, visit mariners.com.
Already 7 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker.
He's one shy of a career high, as we were talking about earlier. Strike 1 to Carter. He's punched out 8 hitters 3 times. And it's 0-2. The last time he did it was in a recent start versus the Indians. He's also set that mark against the Astros before. Now Carter would be the perfect candidate, as he entered today leading the big leagues in strikeouts. Taijuan's 2-2, and he goes around. There is the 8th strikeout through 4 innings from Taijuan Walker, and he is already tied a career high. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Mariners have the lead. Out of the bottom of the 4th, Taijuan Walker has already tied a career high 8 strikeouts through 4 innings, and Chris Carter the latest victim.
I really like that after he gave up the 2 solo home runs, he has stayed with his fastball. So many times you'll see a young pitcher, after their fastball gets hit a couple of times, they'll get away from it. But Taijuan, he has not done that tonight. Staying with it.
Lomo to lead things off in the bottom of the 4th against Keuchel. Of course, the Astros last night did not draw a walk. They struck out 13 times. So in the first 13 innings of this series, they have struck out 21 times and have not taken ball 4. Mariners got 2 bases loaded walks in the 2nd, and a solo shot by Cruz in the 3rd to take the lead. 2-1. And on the hands, 2-2. Bottom third due up for the Mariners here in the fourth. Morrison, Zunino, and Miller. Same result. Morrison down on strikes. Now we take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, and it surrounds Edgar Martinez. Of course, named today Mariners' new hitting coach. Howard Johnson reassigned to the minor leagues. Edgar, a Mariners Hall of Famer, and for, well, good reason, as we can see here, Mike.
Just a great career. 1,200 RBIs for Edgar. 1,200 walks. Total bases, 3,700. Great career here in Seattle. All 18 years with the Mariners.
0-2 quickly on Zunino. And that was really something you could pick up easily hearing Edgar talk today. As he said, he missed the game. He wanted to get more into the game. This is the time in his life where it seemed right. He didn't want to take just any big league hitting coach job. Zunino going up on strikes. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Keuchel. And recently we heard Edgar talking about whether or not he has been looking for, well, a similar job with other franchises.
For the last 2 years, I've been thinking it is, I want to get back into the game. And obviously I want to do it with the Mariners because I played my whole career with the Mariners. And I do think this is the right time. The team, I haven't seen so much talent in the Mariners for a long time. So I think we have the right talent, the right manager, coaching staff. So I think it's a great opportunity for me, and I'm excited about this opportunity.
Well, obviously Seattle, a very special place for Edgar, and wanting it to be with the Mariners whenever the time might be right, and it is now. Miller reaching on an infield single. Back to the top of the order. Here's Austin Jackson. I know, Mike, one thing that impresses you so much about Edgar is how simple he can make hitting sound like.
He can, and I think that the main thing is when you're a star player in your career, Aaron, sometimes it can be difficult to look at other hitters and not have the same sort of expectation or want to have them do things the way that you did it. Edgar is great at seeing what your skill set is and working off of that and not trying to change it a whole lot. And I think that at this level you don't need a lot of changes with the majority of the guys. And I think that he'll do an excellent job of that.
2 outs, Miller at first. And the 0-2. Jackson fights it away to stay alive.
And I know one of the things that he was really into was having a game plan and then having the discipline to stick to it. And I know as somebody that was a teammate of his, I would talk to him about that all the time. And I'm sure that is something that he will constantly talk to the guys about. And he'll even tell you, have a plan, be willing to stick to it. You're not always going to be right, but be thinking about it.
Jackson down on strikes. Breaking ball there. The changeup from Keuchel, and that'll do it for the Mariners in the fourth. We go to the fifth. Mariners on top. possible game changer, and Mike, it is so far tonight. Taijuan Walker has already matched a career-high 8 strikeouts.
No, he has, and he's had a dominant fastball, topping out at 97 miles an hour. Again, his command has been there for him tonight. Starting to mix in his breaking ball and his changeup a little bit more.
The 0-1 to Valbuena.
I think the other thing with Taijuan that has been fun to watch is obviously pitching with a lot of confidence, and you mentioned his last 4 outings, 3-1 with a 1.55 ERA. But the pace that he's working at, he is just basically staying with Mike Zunino, the two of them. It really doesn't shake him off much anymore, and I think that gives him a chance to get a good rhythm out there on the mound.
2-2. Now, Walker has struck out 8 batters 4 times in his career, and 3 of those 4 times have come against the Houston Astros.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. He's pitched against them a lot.
Seems like every other start. The 2-2 on a line to center. Jackson is there. Round number 1. Well, as always, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. And Mike, it's kind of the chicken or the egg, because for Taijuan, you would think that if you're throwing strikes, you work at a quicker pace, you get in a groove, but it's kind of one has to come before the other, or which way does that happen?
I think that the pace and the rhythm that he has is probably the most important thing, because even if he starts the game and he's a little bit off, if you can stay with that, once you find it, I think you can stay there. And fortunately for him, he's on a good run right now to where he's come out of the bullpen ready to start the game, and he's been able to throw a lot of strikes. 17 batters, 12 first pitch strikes for him tonight.
Austin Jackson moving quickly, slows up for round number 2. All-star balloting continues, and Nelson Cruz is currently second in the designated hitter category. Vote for Nelson up to 35 times on the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot at Mariners.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, your tablet, and of course on your smartphone. Vote at Mariners.com. Nelson hitting home run number 19 in the 3rd inning to give the Mariners the lead. Starts Castro out with strike 1. Walker has gone strike 1 to each of the last 6 hitters now. A rare curveball. We haven't seen that much tonight.
No, we haven't. And I think as the summer moves on, we'll start to see his curveball more. We were talking about it last night with Elias, the 3 pitches that he has. Really, if you look at the last 4 games, and you can put this one in there now, the 5th game for Taijuan, he has been doing it basically with a really good fastball and his changeup. His changeup has been there for him pretty much all year, but the breaking ball just hasn't been there for him. And I think they'll try to work it in more and more as they move through the summer.
You get the sense that could be such a deadly pitch, especially with the speed adjustment. The 1-2.
Well, I think where it will really be effective for him is once he gets 2 strikes, like in a count like this, to be able to throw it and bounce it. Don't throw it for a strike. Try to throw it out of the strike zone to get him to chase it. Because of the velocity of his fastball, they're going to cheat a little bit to try to catch up to it, and I think that's a pitch diving out of the strike zone he can get a swing and miss on.
Castro down on strikes, and it's already been a career night for young 22-year-old Taijuan Walker. A career best 9 strikeouts through 5 innings tonight against the Astros. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Vern Funk. Bad luck can hit anyone, insure it with the 13th man. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. And by Volkswagen, hurry in and get a deal during the Volkswagen Stop Dreaming, Start Driving event. Edgar Martinez, the man of the night in many ways this evening, Mariners' new hitting coach. As the Mariners have taken an early 3-2 lead over the first place Houston Astros. Seth Smith leading things off. The shift on for Smith.
Keuchel has had a little bit of a tough time getting that first pitch over for a strike. 20 batters faced, just 8 first pitch strikes for him tonight.
This is teed off on. This has a lot of carry out to center field and gone.
About it with Keuchel, and left-handers hitting just 127 against him this year. That home run, a big deal for Seth Smith, for the simple reason it's the first home run that Keuchel has given up to a left-handed hitter this year. And there was nothing cheap about it. He gets a fastball. It looks like it's right down the middle, center cut. Take a look at our Alaska Supermo and the swing by Seth as he barrels it up and drives it out to center field. So the Mariners now with a couple of solo home runs, Cruz and Smith.
And steps Cano. One ball and 1 strike. You could just hear it off the bat.
It's a beautiful thing, Aaron, I have to tell you.
You don't say.
Yeah.
One of the many things, Mike, that I just can't relate to.
It's, as a hitter, I can tell you. You love that sound. I think the Mariners really hoping that last night for Cano was going to get him started in the right direction. Had a good night last night, picking up 3 base hits. But again, Keuchel going to be tough on left-handed hitters.
That's just being robbed. It's when you go home and you ask yourself, did I give it everything I really had today? So close. Right there to Carter for round number 1. And we'll take a look now at our Columbia Bank difference of the game. And they just saw Seth Smith, but earlier Nelson Cruz.
His home run, game tied, 2-2. Nelson Cruz gives the Mariners lead with that solo home run, his 19th home run.
This is updated. American League home run leaders, of course, Pujols, a grand slam in last night's game. Strike 1 to Cruz. So Pujols sitting at 20. The Angels first baseman has 9 homers this month, the most in the American League. Cruz, that was his first home run in 20 games. One and one. Tonight marks the second time this year Keuchel's given up 2 homers in 1 start. He did it back in late May on the road in Baltimore. But as Mike was talking about, only 4 home runs all season. So the Mariners have half that total before the 5th inning has even come to a close. The 2-2. Strike 3 called. On the fringe.
take a look at it. Castro, the catcher, set on the inside corner. And Keuchel able to hit the mark.
Two outs, nobody on for Seager. Foul ball. Keuchel won a Gold Glove last year. You could see him bound off the mound. Got there quickly. A.J. Hinch looking on. Mariners 2 bases loaded walks, 2 solo home runs. Popped up on the infield. Here comes Correa out of the shifts, and he makes a catch. Leadoff home run, Seth Smith, who absolutely clobbered a pitch from Dallas Keuchel. That gives it the Mariners a 4-2 lead through 5 innings. Next time you're at Safeco Field, an absolutely place you have to visit, the statue of Dave Niehaus, as we take a look at our Lexus pitching matchup. The 2 starters here today, Mike, and boy, 9 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker. That's what really jumps off the page, a career high.
And the fact that he hasn't walked anybody in 73 pitches. So for Taijuan, again, a dominant fastball today, starting to mix in his breaking ball a little bit more, and his changeup. Basically just throwing a good fastball, able to locate it. Only given up 3 hits. Unfortunately, 2 of them left the ballpark.
To Brad Miller, a low scoop, a spin, and a rocket to first base. Springer, who can fly, is out number 1.
And Brad certainly aware of the fact that Springer can get down the line. He's playing him to pull, had to go back up the middle. And you'll see him make a little spin, and that's so they can get more on the ball. It plants that right foot into the ground. Brad with a strong throwing arm gets rid of it quickly after he spins. That's a pretty good fastball.
Right down the middle.
That's right.
First pitch to Correa, up and in. That snaps a string of 7 straight first pitch strikes from Taijuan. Evens it up though, 1-1. Correa batting nearly .320 in his young big league career. Born in Puerto Rico, number 1 overall pick back in 2012. His father worked 3 jobs when he was growing up so he could go to a school where He learned Spanish and English. Walker's 2-2, and it stays put. Walker ready to go as Correa now squares up. And a full count. And that is something, Mike, tonight we just have not seen much of at all from Taijuan. A 3-ball count at that.
Well, he's had really good command tonight. 81 pitches for him, 53 strikes, 80% fastballs.
Correa, a shot to right field. Cruz running out of room. And it almost gets pinned right there at the base of the fence. Correa, a stand-up double, and that snaps a string of 8 in a row sat down by Taijuan Walker.
Good hitting from Correa. This is a good fastball, 96 miles an hour on the outside corner, and Correa goes with it right at the base of the wall.
That's covering some plate. 1 out, 1 on for Preston Tucker.
With that double, Correa's the first Astro to be in scoring position tonight.
That's saying something. We play with 1 out of the 6th. And that's 0-2.
That was the good changeup from Taijuan. Typically with thrower, after he gets a good fastball for a strike, he'll throw the changeup down out of the strike zone. Not trying to throw it for a strike, and more times than not, especially to the left-handers, he'll get a swing and a miss at it.
The 0-2, swing and a miss for strike 3, 96 from Taijuan Walker. And the strikeouts just keep on coming. That's number 10. The defending American League champion Kansas City Royals take on the Mariners for a 3-game series beginning this Monday at 7:10 with BECU Family Night. On Wednesday the 24th, you'll score special pricing with the Safeco Insurance Grand Slam Family Package. For tickets, visit Mariners.com. Gaddis fouls off the first pitch. So in back-to-back nights, the Mariners starting pitcher with 10 strikeouts against the Astros. Elias last night and Taijuan this evening. Taijuan already making his 3rd start against the Astros this year. One and 2. Correa at second after the double, 2 outs. Drifting foul. Miller chasing after it. Miller collides and he can't make the catch.
Calling it a catch.
We'll take a look at it again.
Yeah, that's a good call. That is a good call. Man clearly interferes. He was right there to make the catch. That's a good call.
And it looks like they might want some further discussion about this. Looks like the replay gear has been brought out.
Fortunately, when I'm looking at this is Brad, and fortunately he's okay because it looks as if he ends up hitting his chest right in the middle of the wall. That's his hip. He was on the ground for a few seconds. Glad to see him get up.
Yeah. Astros fans should never be allowed in the front row.
Take a look at his hip again as he slams into the wall.
It's padded, but it's not that padded.
No, it's not. And he will feel that in the morning. I was happy to see him get up, and the call.
Now the call stands. A.J. Hinch wants a little further explanation, but that is out number 3. And it's what we just saw moments ago. Fan interference, and Brad Miller hopefully okay. Looked like he was.
And just a great effort by Brad. Clearly in position to make the catch.
And a new member of the Witness Protection Program. After that is A.J. Hinch. Gets run from the ball game after getting a little animated, and Hinch is a pretty modest man. He doesn't get too animated about many things, but he gets run for the ball game by third base umpire Mike DeMuro. So he makes an early visit to the clubhouse, and now Trey Hillman, the bench coach, the acting manager. Meanwhile, 1 ball and 1 strike to Trumbo.
A couple of pitches down out of the strike zone going against Mark.
There comes the 1-2. Full count. Trumbo, a fielder's choice and a strikeout tonight. Hard hit to the gap, left center. This is gone. Third home run tonight for the Mariners, and for Mark Trumbo, #1 as a Seattle Mariner.
Dallas Keuchel had given up a total of 4 home runs coming into this game, and now the 3rd home run for the Mariners. Trumbo gets a pitch down at the bottom of the strike zone, off-speed pitch. This is a changeup. This gives you an idea how strong he is. Lines it out into the pen. Great job staying with that pitch and not pulling off of it as he drives it out to left center field.
Lobo. Correa for round number 1. And activity brewing inside the bullpen.
Tony Sipp.
Zunino steps in, 1 out, nobody on. 5-2 Mariners. This ties Dallas Keuchel the most home runs he's ever given up in a single start. In fact, the last time he gave up 3 home runs in 1 start, you have to go all the way back to 2013 and late July of that year against the Blue Jays. So not only does this not fit in with what he has done this year, but also over the course of his career. Few and far between. But the Mariners have gotten to Keuchel. And Zunino ahead now 3-1. Zunino a line drive. Oh, what a catch. Highway robbery. Carlos Correa. Now when you're a 6'4" shortstop, you have a bit of an advantage on plays like this.
Yeah, and when you've been struggling and you hit a ball on the button like Mike just did, you really want that hit. And a great play by Correa at shortstop. As you look at our Alaska Supermo, and at 6'4", he can really elevate.
Is this the combine? My goodness.
He's a pretty good athlete.
That is an athlete. 2 outs, nobody on for Miller. Strike 1. Solo home runs tonight. Nelson Cruz, Seth Smith, and the latest Mark Trumbo to begin this 6th inning. 0-2.
Keuchel now at 100 pitches. His season high 115. That was back in April against San Diego.
The 0-2. Miller has reached twice tonight, a walk and an infield base hit. The Mariners have scored 5 unanswered runs against the Astros, who teed off twice in the 2nd. A couple of solo homers. Well, the Mariners had not homered in the last 3 games, and they've homered 3 times through 6 innings tonight. Long range there. Gonzalez to first base. And the Mariners retired in the 6th inning. But Trumbo, his first home run in a Mariners uniform. We go to the 7th. Mariners by 3. 2 lead over the Astros as we take now a look at our Geico this date in big league history. Edgar Martinez, the Mariners' new hitting coach, inducted into the World Sports Humanitarian Hall of Fame in Boise, Idaho. Of course, Edgar receiving the Clemente Award following the 04 season for tremendous community involvement, and Edgar known for many donations, both financially and also with his personal time to Children's Hospital and Regional Medical Center here in Seattle. Only 46 inductees in the World Sports Humanitarian Hall of Fame in Boise. Weak ground ball, tough play. Cano, the bare hand, not in time. Infield single for Rasmus.
Take a look at our Alaska Supermo and the barehanded play by Cano, doing everything he possibly can. And that will be an infield hit.
Fifth hit tonight for the Astros. A couple of home runs, a double. A George Springer single to right field, now an infield single by Rasmus.
Taiwan now at 90 pitches.
10 punch outs tonight. Carter lays into the first pitch, slicing with distance into the corner, but foul.
Taiwan season high for his pitch count, 108. Again, he's now at 91 pitches. Nuno getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
That's right. Carter last year 37 home runs. It was one of the best power hitting seasons in the history of the Astros. Jeff Bagwell set the franchise record with 47 bombs in one season. That was in 2000. The 0-2. Carter has already struck out twice tonight. The 1-2, strike three called, number 11, and a changeup this time from Taijuan Walker. He has fanned Carter all 3 trips up, and the strikeouts continue to rack up for Taijuan Walker.
We'll take a look at the changeup from Taiwan. We talked about it. Typically, he has a good one, and it will be down. That one catching the bottom of the strike zone, and Lloyd McClendon making a trip out to the mound. Taiwan now at 94 pitches.
You can tell Taiwan not wanting to leave the game. Does not take an expert lip reader. That'll be it for Taiwan. And what a magnificent start tonight for Taijuan Walker. 11 strikeouts over 6 1/3 innings. And a standing ovation for the 22-year-old from Yucaipa, California. gorgeous night, and the Mariners lead right now at the top of the 7th. 5-2 over the Astros. Taijuan Walker done for the night. And Mike, this was just another tremendous start for Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, he was clearly dominant tonight. 6 1/3, 5 hits, couple of runs, couple of solo home runs off of Taijuan tonight. Didn't walk anybody. 11 strikeouts. That is a career high. 94 pitches, 64 of them for strikes.
Miguel Nuno, the new pitcher, up on the mound for the Mariners.
Yeah, that's a strike.
Facing Valbuena.
For Nuno, his 6th appearance, 1.5 ERA. In 6 innings, he has 7 strikeouts, Poem sitting 158. It's a good fastball in the low 90s. Mixed in a slider and a changeup.
Nothing out of Valbuena, who homered back in the 2nd. And for Lloyd, you figure this is something that the Mariners will have to start really thinking about if they haven't already. The pitch count for Taijuan Walker over the course of the innings. Pardon me. Yes, the innings count over the course of the year. And at 94, a good time to pull him. A walk to Valbuena.
Well, you're absolutely right, Aaron. That's something that they're going to keep an eye on. He probably doesn't like it, but I think it's the best thing for him and the team. Fernando Rodney getting loose in the pen for the Mariners. And Tony Sipp, the left-hander, back up for the Astros.
That's the first walk that Houston has drawn in this series. No walks, 13 strikeouts last night. Now 1 walk and 11 strikeouts tonight. With the talk earlier today about Max Scherzer, a strike away from the perfect game before finding the elbow of Jose Tabata, you can't help but think a little bit about Marwin Gonzalez, who back in April of 2013 broke up the perfect game with 2 outs of Yu Darvish with a ground ball up the middle. Line drive, left field. Rasmus getting waved in from third base. He scores standing. And the Astros come a little closer now. It's 5-3 Mariners. And that run charge to Taijuan Walker.
This is on a changeup. Leaves it right in the middle of the plate. Gonzalez hits it hard.
So the first run scored tonight by the Astros not coming on a solo homer. See Rodney beginning or continuing rather to warm up.
And I think we're waiting on a pinch hitter. Castro, the catcher. And it'll be Santana.
We saw Domingo Santana last night in right field.
See what he's done this year as a pinch hitter. Recently called up, but 1 for 1. That 1 hit, a home run. And Lloyd McClendon, as he is on his way to the mound, he's going to make a pitching change.
A 3-run homer in the finale in Colorado. So a pitching change here with Santana coming off the bench, top of the 7th, 2 on, and 1 out. Back in a moment. third innings. And Mike, more impressive work from the youngster.
Unfortunately, a couple of solo home runs, but outside of that, he had a dominant fastball tonight. 97 miles an hour, was able to mix in his breaking ball a little bit more. Also had a good changeup, but for the most part, he was right around 80% fastballs and locating. See that fastball in the inside corner, elevates another one for a strikeout. Dominant stuff from Taijuan Walker. The reason why he had 11 strikeouts, that is a career high. Previous high was 8. And he was able to get the 11 strikeouts in just 6 in the third. There's the good changeup.
Now, we saw a lot of late swings from the Astros tonight. Some awkward swings at that. 11 strikeouts for Taijuan, and your new pitcher, Fernando Rodney.
28 appearances on the year for Rodney, a 6.26 ERA, 23 strikeouts over the 27 and a third he has pitched. Opponents hitting .287 against him.
This is the first high leverage situation we have seen Rodney put into in some time.
And they brought out Santana. Now they're going to hit Hank Conger, the backup catcher.
Conger, a switch hitter. Conger represents the go-ahead run. Trey Hillman, the bench coach, now the acting manager, with pinch run from the game earlier. Arguing the fan interference call. And one pitch, and here comes Mike Zunino. Valbuena at second, Gonzalez the RBI single at first. Two and 0. Watch out, shattered bat. Backhand play by Lomo. 2 outs. Now there's what's left. Valbuena and Gonzalez both advance the station.
Just a good fastball, 95 miles an hour, in on his hands.
Some pretty good carry. Rodney's not taking any chances. Don't blame him. Springer, a check swing. Miller got to get rid of it. He does. Right there to Lomo at first base. And Springer is out on the first pitch. The Astros strand 2 in scoring position, and the Mariners keep the lead. You're stretching your body. How about stretching your mind as you consider how a Washington's lottery win would change your bucket list? Played today. On to the bottom of the 7th. You know what they say. You never quite know what you'll see when you come out to the ballpark. Especially in the pen, where it's always packed. They didn't borrow that from you, did they, Mike?
No, but I appreciate the colors.
That's got to fit into some kind of promotion. Maybe. There is Austin Jackson to begin things. And a new pitcher. It's a tough lefty. Tony Sipp taking over for Dallas Keuchel, who goes 6.
Mariners really did a good job against Keuchel. One of the better pitchers in the American League. But Tony Sipp going to take over. His 27th appearance. 2.19 ERA. 29 strikeouts and 24 2/3. Only 4 walks on the year. Opponents hitting 193 against Tony.
It really cannot be understated what the Mariners did tonight against Keuchel, for a number of reasons. One, he entered tonight the 6th best earned run average in the big leagues, the 2nd best in the American League, behind only Sonny Gray. And Gray could very well start for the American League in the All-Star game this summer. Add to that, Keuchel, the American League Pitcher of the Month in April, the American League Pitcher of the Month in May, and then beyond just the resume that he's put together this year, his track record against the Mariners, a team that has seen a lot, and for the most part has had tremendous success. The Mariners entering today had hit him at a 199 clip. That's it. And they'd allowed 1 home run against Keuchel in his previous 7 appearances and 6 starts. The Mariners get 3 here tonight.
Everybody has their day, and for Keuchel, not particularly sharp in the 2nd inning. 4 walks. That beats his season high for an entire game. And then, of course, he's given up just 4 home runs on the season, and he gave up 3 to the Mariners tonight.
It's incredible. 4 walks in an inning, as you were saying. That's 2 of those led to runs. And a leadoff walk here to Austin Jackson. Now watch the Mariners in style on the exclusive Terrace Club level. View the game from your seats or step inside the lounge, complete with a full bar, specialty concession stands, and plenty of TVs, so you won't miss a pitch. For more information, check out mariners.com/premium. Mike, did you know that tomorrow's the longest day of the year?
I did.
Yeah, I knew you would. Beautiful night here from Safeco Field. As James Jones will step in, number 99, making a cameo. Pops the butt right to Sipp. That's tough for Jones. Josh Fields warming up in the bullpen. Jones brought in to bunt with Seth Smith, both the left-handed hitter, of course.
And it looked as if he had a pretty good pitch to bunt. It was a fastball in the middle of the plate and down. Only you would be able to get that on the ground.
Low, as you saw, warming up in the bullpen for the Mariners. 1 out, 1 on. Keeping an eye on Jackson. Lots of room in right center for Cano. And there goes Jackson into second base. Wild pitch. Conger, the new catcher. Under pinch hit for Castro in the 7th, facing Rodney. Trey Hellman now the manager for the Astros with Hinch ejected. You can see Gary Pettis there, the third base coach, giving some signs to the outfield. Jackson in scoring position. Cano right side and through. Jackson full steam ahead into third. Springer's throw home. It's cut off. And Austin Jackson scores. Robinson Cano an RBI. 6-3 Mariners.
Talking about it earlier in the game with Cano. He had 3 base hits in last night's game, including a double, and you were hoping that would get him hot. Well, he comes up with a big base hit here. Right on the barrel. Solid base hit to drive in a run. The 1 run the Mariners gave up in the top of the 7th inning, able to get it right back.
And it's a short night for Sick. Josh Fields coming on. We're back in a moment. All right, Angie, thank you. As we take a look now at Josh Fields, new pitcher for the Astros.
1.93 ERA, 31 strikeouts over just 18 2/3. Opponents hitting 145. He has yet to give up a home run this year. Good fastball in the mid-90s.
Facing Cruz.
Misses with the slider.
Cruz has 3 multi-homer games this year. He homered tonight in the 3rd. A chance for a 4th multi-homer game. Former first rounder by the Mariners. Fields a Rule 5 pick by the Astros just a couple of years ago after pitching a very good season in AAA with the Red Sox organization. The 1-1. Swinging for the fences, 1-2.
Pretty good fastball at the top of the strike zone. See it above the belt of Nelson Cruz. Tough to catch up to it.
2. Conger loses some hardware. Gives it a thorough inspection. Now that'll wake you up. Cano at first base, an RBI single that scored Jackson. Again, the 1-2 to Cruz. 2-2. Sure would be nice to see Nelson Cruz in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic. You can vote at Mariners.com. Nelson now 19 home runs on the season, 43 RBIs, and batting well over 300. The resume is there. Looks at foul, still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pretty good hitting to stay with that slider. Just down out of the strike zone.
That home run from Cruz in the 3rd gave the Mariners the lead. There is no hitter in baseball with more go-ahead RBIs this season than Cruz. He's tied with Bryce Harper. Full count. Both he and Harper with 18 go-ahead RBIs as Seager is on deck with 1 out. Cano leading at first. And to right field for Springer. Out number 2. They'll join Mariners greats Jay Buhner and Dan Wilson for the 3rd annual All-Star Softball Classic for Youth. Bring your family and friends out to beautiful Safeco Field on Saturday, June 27th. First pitch at 3 in the afternoon. For tickets and for more information, just visit www.uwkc.org. Should be a fun time. First pitch low to Seager, right through the wickets there. As Conger can't stop it. And Cano in at second base on another wild pitch.
Second wild pitch of the inning. You see Conger thinking that ball was going to bounce up on him instead. Right between the legs and hit the backstop. Mariners so far tonight 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position.
Well, the last wild pitch helped Jackson score from second on the single by Cano. Two 2-0 to Seager. Seager an all-star last year. That was at Target Field in Minnesota. For Seager, that was, well, a dream come true from the obvious standpoint of being an all-star. But Seager, growing up in North Carolina, idolized Derek Jeter, and that was Jeter's final all-star game. And when Jeter was taken off the field to a standing ovation, and Jeter made his way through the American League dugout, high fives and hugs all around, it was Seager who was right there at the party, and that was an absolute moment in Seager's career that he will never forget. Hard hit, one quick skip to Gonzalez, who's able to stop it and throw to first base. Cano stranded, but a run comes in for the Mariners, and through 7, the Mariners lead it 6-3. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Jack in the Box, taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today only at Jack in the Box. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. On another gorgeous evening here in downtown Seattle. Glad to have you with us. As we've got some changes for the Mariners. James Jones is now in left field for Seth Smith. And a new pitcher up on the mound for the Mariners. It is Mark Lowe taking over for Fernando Rodney.
Mark Lowe has been dominant for the Mariners this year. Especially when they have a lead now. He has taken over the setup role. If you look at him, 0.87 ERA, 23 strikeouts in 20 2/3. Opponents hitting just 205 against Mark. His fastball will be 95, 96 miles an hour with a hard slider.
Facing Carlos Correa to begin the top of the 8th.
Slider right on the outside corner.
Correa a double back in the 6th. A strikeout and a flyout. Astros in first place, 40-29 entering tonight. Mariners trailing by 8.5. If the Mariners can hold on to this lead, it would be the first series win of the season against the Astros. Strike 3 called. He gets him with the fastball. We'll take a look at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. Just talking about the first place Houston Astros. Rangers have been playing very well lately. Angels continue to hover around 500. It's been an odd season for the A's. 11 games back.
Well, you can see why it's an important series for the Mariners with Houston on top. But I also think that continue to play well. They can win this series. Maybe it pushes them forward, or they can do that a number of times. We talk about winning series all the time, and you get a nice run going into the All-Star break. That would be great to see. Get some momentum, some confidence, feeling good about yourself. You look at Chad Qualls, right-handed reliever, veteran.
This is teed off onto right field. Cruz right by the pole, and a foul ball. Now the sad trombone effect for Preston Tucker, as that was a moonshot and just foul.
Not sure if it was on the changeup or a slider that he left in the middle of the plate. Definitely an off-speed pitch. We'll take a look at it. That is just foul.
A loud strike. Here's the 1-1. Opposite way, and it stays fair. Seager didn't have a chance. Jones will find it. And Tucker settles for a single. Nice work by Jones to get there in a hurry.
Pretty good fastball off the plate away. And we'll take a look at Tucker. Almost hits it right out of the catcher's glove. Starts off foul. And then somehow ends up being a fair ball down the line. You can see how far off the line Kyle Seager is playing. Charlie Furbush going to get loose.
And Tucker pulled the joystick a little bit there. Able to get a base hit out of it, his first tonight. Gaddis on the first pitch. Splits the left side of the infield. Back-to-back base hits with 1 out. And suddenly the Astros bring the tying run to the plate.
Very strange hits. Saw The first one almost out of Zunino's glove, and then this one a high bouncer that finds the hole on the left side. All of a sudden Mark Lowe is in some trouble.
Rick waits. The operator manning the phone as Zunino pays a quick trip out to the mound. Now Rasmus a threat, 9 homers, nearly 25 RBIs this year. Lefty facing a righty. And a turn and look there from Lowe.
And here's Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout, just trying to buy some time. And he's going to get Charlie Furbush, who's been getting loose in the pen.
That makes sense. 1 out and 2 on. They have the tie and run at the plate. And they will go to the lefty from South Portland, Maine. Charlie Furbush coming on here. And the top of the 8th inning, Mariners leading by 3. Of course, the Kings Court when Felix and the Mariners go head-to-head with the Royals this Monday at 7:10. $30 will land you a seat in the section, a Kings Court t-shirt, and as always, a K card. So come cheer on the King when you get tickets at mariners.com/Felix. Now tomorrow, on Father's Day here from Safeco Field, Jay Happ will get the ball for the Mariners against young Vince Velasquez, making only his 3rd big league start. And then, of course, a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? A series against Kansas City. Felix, Montgomery, and Elias up on the mound. And the Royals entering today had won 8 of their last 11, but they have some starters on the DL. Duffy and Ventura, both sidelined with injury. You can see Joe Blanton getting the start in Game 1 against Felix. Colby Rasmus will face a new pitcher, Charlie Furbush, on for the Mariners.
After Charlie has really pitched well for the Mariners. Left-handed hitters hitting just 118 against Charlie. 28 appearances on the year, a 1.93 ERA. Overall batting average, 123.
Rasmus going after the first pitch, strike 1.
Carson Smith getting loose in the Mariner pen now.
Carson picking up the save last night. One out, 2 on. 1-1. Rasmus ready to go. So is Furbush. A strike. In there, the fastball. And Neshek now warming up with Chad Qualls. Neshek, the former All-Star with the Cardinals. Furbush steps off. The Astros scored twice in the second, a couple of solo homers. Gaddis and Valbuena. They grabbed a run in the seventh. And they have the tying run at the plate and Colby Rasmus. Charlie's 1-2. Slider off the plate, 2-2. Taijuan Walker tonight, 3 runs over 6 1/3. Nuno did not record an out. Rodney 2/3, Lowe 1/3 of an inning. Now Furbush.
Charlie's really working hard, trying to keep the ball away from him. 3 sliders out of the 4 pitches.
And now the 2-2. Strike 3 call, and he rings him up. He goes with a fastball, lower shelf.
After all the sliders, I think he surprised him a little bit with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball right at the knees. Look at our Alaska Supermo. And that'll bring out Lloyd McClendon. He's going to get Carson Smith.
Yeah, right on right situation coming up with Chris Carter, who's got a lot of thunder in that bat. Furbush does his job. He strikes out Rasmus looking. And we've got another pitching change in the top of the 8th. Carson Smith, who picked up the save last night, Mike, is going on here in the 8th inning.
4 saves on the year. Carson, a 1.59 ERA. 34 strikeouts over the 28 in the third. Opponents hitting just 160 against Carson Smith. Good fastball. Mentioned last night. It was right around 95, 96 miles an hour. And of course, the hard slider.
Take a look now at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. This series wraps up tomorrow on Father's Day. Hope to see you here at the ballpark. 1:10 the first pitch. Jay Happ gets the ball for the Mariners. And then the defending American League champion Royals to town before a travel day. And then off on a West Coast swing. Anaheim, San Diego, another day off there as you see. And then the A's. So Lloyd setting up The righty Carson Smith against Chris Carter. 12 homers, 35 RBIs this year. And Carson hoping to fit him for a golden sombrero in this one tonight. He's 0 for 3 punch outs. Starts it off with the fastball. Carter, more home runs than anyone in the game entering tonight. That is some serious movement on the fastball from Smith, and maybe more than he wanted.
A couple of tough plays for Mike Zunino. The first one, 95 miles an hour in the dirt, and Mike was able to glove it somehow. And that one, well off the plate away.
Two pitches and Carter ahead of the count. There's a strike. Two outs, 2 on. And the 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
He has not thrown the slider yet. Falling behind, coming right back with a couple of good fastballs.
Carter, the tying run. Smith, the 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Gets him with the slider. And Chris Carter off to the sombrero store. After this one's over tonight. 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts, and a big-time punch out for Carson Smith. As we go to the bottom of the 8th. Change up your commute. Take our online trip planner for a spin at soundtransit.org. Happy to have you with us here from Safeco Field. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Flowers, our entire Root Sports crew. The Mariners have thumped 3 solo homers. They have scored twice on a pair of bases loaded walks. An RBI single from Robinson Cano in the 7th. We begin the bottom of the 8th. And we will see a new pitcher for the Houston Astros. Josh Fields is done for the night, and Chad Qualls will now take over the mound duties for the Astros.
Qualls has struggled this year. ERA just over 5. His 27th appearance on the year. Opponent's hitting just .236. He's given up 4 home runs.
Facing Trumbo. Trumbo splinters his bat. A little flare. Rasmus is able to make the catch.
the end of the bat. Just breaks it in half. And what a play by Rasmus in center field. Playing deep with Trumbo hitting, and a lot of times when you take the big swing, the outfielders will freeze, which is what Rasmus did, but has good closing speed.
What a catch. Remember, no Jake Marisnick on the disabled list with a hamstring injury. So Rasmus in center. That's the second stellar defensive catch we've seen by Houston tonight. Carlos Correa taking a hit away. A leaping catch. Climbed the ladder on a ball put in play by Mike Zunino. Big bounder. And through the opposite side. Lobo's first hit tonight, a 1-out single. The next BECU Family Night is set for this Monday when the Mariners host the Royals at 7:10. Each member of the family can purchase select view-level seats for one low price. To secure your savings, log on to mariners.com for your BECU Family Night tickets today.
Well, you mentioned the leaping catch by Correa, robbing a base hit from Mike Zunino. I'd say this game owes him one.
Fair enough. Michael walked back in the second. Zunino talking to reporters earlier today about the change in hitting coach for the Mariners. Edgar Martinez taking over for Howard Johnson. And Zunino was very grateful, very gracious when talking about Hojo. While at the same time excited to work with Edgar, which seems to be the sentiment from every Mariners hitter. Bottom of the 8th inning. There goes Lobo, and it's dropped by Conger. Lobo waltzes into second base. His 7th steal this year. The blur, Logan Morrison.
Well, Mike now in a good hitters count, 3-0. Not sure that Lloyd will let him swing away 3-0 and maybe take a chance with his power. Taking all the way.
.3-1 coming. This gets a piece. Miller on deck. And there's nobody more fun really to watch steal a base than Logan Morrison. he looks like a defensive end going after the quarterback, really. Now Jones is a joy to watch, obviously.
No, he is. But for Logan, for a big man, he has good speed. And I think Lloyd putting him in the leadoff spot from time to time. I feel that he wants to steal a few more bases. Pretty good slider by Qualls.
Zunino down on strikes.
Mariners 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Well, 3-2 Mike hoping to get the fastball. It ends up being a slider down and away from him.
Two outs, Lobo at second. Everybody having a good time tonight here inside Safeco Field. Miller jumps on the first pitch. It's taken by Gonzalez, and Miller's out. Balls covers in time. Your routine 4-1 putout. We go to the ninth. Carson Smith coming back on. Let's just say it's been a good day one on the job.
Carson Smith trying to get a 4-out save this evening. Was able to get the last out in the 8th inning. And Lloyd McClellan going to stay with him.
0-2 on Valbuena. Now the Mariners have not had a save of more than 3 outs, so your typical save. Since a 3-out save, Wilhelmsen pitching the final 3 innings of a game last year in late June against the Astros. 1-2. In fact, the last 3 saves of more than 3 outs for the Mariners have all come against Houston. Wilhelmsen, Farquhar, and Rodney. The 1-2 evens things up. Valbuena a homer back in the 2nd. That's when the Astros led 2-0. Gaddis homered before him in the same inning. Out number 1.
And Carr's able to put him away with that great slider. A good look at it in our Alaska Supermo. Trying to throw it down and into Valbuena as he'll swing right over the top of it.
Switch hitter Marwin Gonzalez. Two outs to go. Now let's make it 1 out to go. Routine play there. Gonzalez. He's the retired Cano's way. A win tonight means a series win against the Astros. That would be a first this year. 3 previous series against Houston this season, the Mariners had totaled 2 wins, and they could win on back-to-back nights now against Houston, matching their season total. First pitch to Conger, ball 1. Smith looking for the save, back-to-back nights. Right there to Lomo. Make it save number 5 for Carson Smith. The Mariners win it. They have won the series, and they set up a chance to bring the brooms out on Father's Day.
Now, let's not forget about Taijuan Walker today. I thought he was outstanding in this one. Taijuan goes 6 1/3, only 5 hits. 11 strikeouts, a career high. 11 strikeouts, did not walk a batter. The Mariners taking advantage of Keuchel in the second inning when he was a little bit wild. You really don't see that from him. 4 walks, pick up a couple of runs, and then some solo homers. Nelson Cruz with his 19th. Mark Trumbo, his first home run as a Mariner, and Seth Smith, the first left-handed hitter to hit a home run off of Keuchel. A lot of good things for the Mariners. You take a look at Edgar Martinez, first day on the job.
Good stuff tonight. First 2 games of this series, Mariners pitchers have combined for 1 walk and 27 strikeouts to Astros hitters. Mariners take the series, set up a chance for the sweep as Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with Brad and Val.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Mariners, yes, they got the series of value. Look at just 7 hits, but 3 of them big flies, and we talked